Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum. At the bottom, we have Illuminati playing as a marksman specialist. He's up against Clint Leetwood playing as a supply specialist. Now, right off the bat, you notice that both players have sledgehammers and, of course, the marksman. And I wouldn't be surprised if Clint started to add crawlers of his own. So we're starting to look at a very mirrored matchup with sledgehammers, crawlers, and, of course, marksman. Now, Sledgehammer has been sort of under the gun for a couple months, right? So we've had fortresses that were really a strong counter to the Sledgehammers. War factories, also extremely strong counters to the Sledgehammers. But in the last couple weeks, Sledgehammers has been regaining its position as one of the top units to use on a board. Partially due to the repeated nerf to the fortress and yeah, so Sledgehammer actually synergizes a lot better now. Now notice that Clint's Sledgehammers are in vertical configuration where Illuminati's is not. The vertical Sledgehammers will have a slightly more efficient chaff clear as they don't always shoot at the same chaff at the same time. So as this group of crawler runs forward, you'll notice that how these Sledgehammers will just have a bit easier time clearing the chaff compared to the horizontal ones. Now, being a vertical sledgehammer, you are also a little bit more vulnerable, especially if you're caught in sort of a sledge versus sledge fight, because your front tank will essentially get the entire damage from the firing squad. All right, round two, we got heavy armor and repositioning as the card of choice. Heavy armor is, of course, extremely good on sledgehammers. As they level, they'll become quite tanky. Repositioning is an interesting choice for Clint. I wonder if there's anything that actually needs repositioning right now, or he's just taking it because it's an extremely overpowered card to take. But we'll see about that. It doesn't look like there's anything that needs moving just now. I think both players are just posturing and trying to figure out what exactly the opponent's board is going to look like. All right, we have more fans, more crawlers, and that is to both sides of the board. We got a cheeky missile here. And I wonder what that cheeky missile was really for. I think it was really aiming for the sledgehammers, but because of the additional squad of fans, it got distracted. Sledgehammers, while decent with chap clear, are definitely not the best, especially not when your opponent has 2 extra squads of crawlers running at you. Alright, the result of this round seems pretty familiar. And I think it's going to go to Illuminati. Unless you got an extremely well-timed tower, but just looking at the number of tanks, I think it might still go to Illuminati. Round 3. Intensive training gets picked by Clint. And intensive training gets picked by Illuminati. I think it's a very sensible decision. Right now, Clint is adding an extra tank, immediately using the intensive training to bring him to level 2. In a tank versus tank battle, whoever levels first or whoever has the most level wins. Illuminati is not lagging behind, leveling this tank to level 2 and again to level 3 while throwing the heavy armor on it. So the heavy armor increases health by 100%. So this sledgehammer right now has the health of 6 sledgehammers. Not so shabby. At the same time, there's still supply left, so it looks like we might be looking for a few more carry units. And that's going to be in the form of sledgehammers. Alright, so we're in round 3. Next round, round 4, is usually when players start to add giants to the board, and I wonder if there's going to be any giant or both players will just continue to build on this sledgehammer mirror matchup. Okay, Chapter is a little bit better because of the additional sledgehammer. However, on the right hand side, these level 3 sledgehammers is going to destroy everything. And it's barely taking any damage. Now the question is, will these sledgehammers destroy the level 2s and the level 2 marksmen? So level 2 sledges and level 2 marksmen. And I think the answer is yes. Okay, round 4. This is when people usually add giants to the board. Sabertooth is offered. I wonder if that's going to be sold. Illuminati start picking up 2 squads of Wasp, capitalizing on the lack of anti-air on the other side of the board. The Sabertooth is actually put down onto the board. Nope, it's going to be sold for Saber Cash. And that money is going to give these tanks a double tech advantage, mech rage, as well as range enhancement. And 2 more squads of tanks are being added. 3 more squads of tanks are being added. So this is a huge round for Clint. Absolutely amping up the damage here in the form of the sledgehammers. The additional range is going to give him the advantage of able to shoot down this trap from afar and start dealing with the damage to this opponent's sledgehammers without taking any damage of his own. Now the real problem lies in this level 2 Wasp. I think they're going to do quite a bit of damage while still being picked off very slowly by these 3 marksmen. Alright, despite the fact that Clint did get double tech on his sledgehammers, he might still lose this round simply because of the Wasp and of course the level 3 sledgehammers, which are now level 4. And they're super tanky. 20,000 HP per sledgehammers times 5. These sledgehammers are almost as tanky as a level 3 fortress. Alright. Now the question is, will both players continue to go with sledgehammers, or will they start to pivot into something a bit more efficient, for example a fortress or a war factory? I mean, at this point, even somebody putting down a scorpion might actually work. Now surprisingly, we have 2 mustangs that's coming down to deal with these wasps. Well, I think that's not a terrible choice, but if I were Clint, I'd probably put down wasps of my own with anti-air. Mustangs, they serve the purpose of taking down this wasp, but my concern is that these Mustangs might just walk a little too far out, too fast, and ended up getting picked off by these tanks. Because remember, these sledgehammers are ranged, which means these Mustangs are going way ahead of them and getting shot at. Alright, haste module is added to this level 4 sledgehammer. I think we got it leveled with the help of intensive training here. And a haste module is available on Illuminati's side, and I'm thinking maybe on this level 2 sledgehammers. Now, looking at Illuminati's side, he did sell a squad of wasps in favor of some marksmen. So both players will continue on to this sledge versus sledge contest. And remember, whoever gets the most level wins. So right now, both sledgehammers from both sides have the exact same tech, range, and mech rage. I think they're even on chaff as well. I believe there may be 1 more squad of chaff coming in from Illuminati. However, Clint does have late arriving fans, which might help as well. And these Mustangs, while not really contributing too much because the Wasp here is sold, they are tanking the fire, allowing the rest of the armor to deal the damage. So with the help of the Mustangs tanking and of course the late arriving fans, I think Clint is going to take this one. Alright, tower went down. And with the Mustangs showing up, these tanks all turned around and started in the fight. Now this one though is beelining straight to the tower. If it can get to the tower before all these tanks are destroyed, then they may get a pretty lucky few shots. And there it goes. Wow, that tank is just, it's got so much health. Not even funny. All right, so the round still goes to Illuminati. So far, it's been a perfect game for Illuminati in this mirror matchup. Now the question is, can he continue this streak? Marksman gets ranged. Makes sense, otherwise he'll be standing alongside the sledgehammers. Mustangs continue to be added, now with range. Very interesting decision, because Mustang with range is actually the same range as sledgehammers. So what will end up happening is that these Mustangs will essentially fire on the same line as the sledgehammers. Sledges do have a 5-meter splash, which means even if the sledgehammer is shooting at one of the tanks, the splash might potentially kill some of these Mustangs. And to make matters worse, Stormcallers are added in on Illuminati's side, which means the entire firing line is under attack and being bombarded, not just with the splash damage of sledgehammers, but also with these rockets. Not a very good turn for Clint, I think. And it's very curious why he would do this. I mean, Mustangs, the great versus air, the great versus chaff clear, but they're terrible against sledgehammers, especially when you're not at the same level. Maybe you notice that there are a few more marksmen. Maybe he's trying to draw fire, but I think the timing's all wrong. You notice how the high-level sledgehammers got immediately picked off by these marksmen, which means the remaining Mustangs, poor level 1 Mustangs, are just going to take ages to get through the thick armor of these high-level sledgehammers. These ones now level 6 with heavy armor. They represent the combined health of 12 sledgehammers. That's a lot of health for those Mustangs to chew through. Alright, still a perfect game for Illuminati. Let's see if Clint can turn this around. Scorpion is being offered, except Scorpion is not being taken by Clint. And I get it, right? Sledgehammers with range, with mech rage, pretty darn scary. But I think there's always a place for Scorpions in a tank versus tank battle. They both took the Rhino. They both sold the Rhino. And the war of attrition continues. Every turn is just chipping damage, but it is getting Clint down to about half of his health. So I wonder if Clint is... ooh. Very risky play here with the missile, because he must be very confident that he's going to win this round. Otherwise, the missile is going to cost him. That's a lot of resources sunk in if he does not win this round. Alright, on Illuminati's side, he picked the armor-piercing bullets, trading off damage, trading off rate of fire for a lot more damage. And on Clint's side, he picked the field maintenance. It's not the greatest tech, especially against an army like this. If Illuminati is running Mustangs, then field maintenance would be godsend. Now, because he is running things like armor piercing, high-level marksman with elite marksman, right? I just don't think the field maintenance is going to do that much. Now, it is messing with the breakpoint, though, right? As tanks are shooting at it, as they're starting to heal, it is kind of messing up with the breakpoints. So, who knows? Maybe it's doing more than I thought it would. Alright, now the Mustangs are stepping forward. Alright, this is a great time. It's a great turn for Clint, actually. So, he does know what he's doing, and when he puts down these 6 anti-missile devices, and his tank is taking the upper hand here. And you know what that means? That means more levels for the tanks. Alright, senior attack is a card that you have to take when you're in this sort of mirror position. Ooh, armor for the sledgehammers. These are now the ultimate weapons of war. These Mustangs aren't going to do anything against these sledgehammers, and these guys are just gonna go to town with everything here. And the only thing that can really hurt them are these sledgehammers and a few marksmen. To be exact, 2 marksmen on Clint's side. And that's pretty deadly, because that just means that the Illuminati just eliminated the usefulness of 5 squads of Mustangs, 4 of which are now level 2. Alright, let's see how the game pans out. Alright, the fans are now dead. Sledgehammers are coming in. But it feels like Illuminati doesn't have enough sledgehammers. Yes, the Mustangs aren't doing any damage, but it just feels like he needs a bit more damage. Right? His sledgehammers are kind of stuck on shooting at Mustangs and not allowing these level 3 or level 4 and level 7 sledgehammers to get in there and do the damage. Excellent. Another great round for Clint. Bombard is excellent for both sides. Smoke bomb, if you can make it land, is fantastic. I actually wouldn't mind just put down 3 more squads of level 2 sledgehammers to help out. I think in the end there, for the last round, what really was the problem was there was just too few units that deal the damage. Right? Yes, these Mustangs aren't really getting what they needed to break through that thick armor, but they still serve as chaff, and the sledgehammers still need to waste shots on them, and that means those are the shots not landing on the Clint sledgehammers. Alright, armor piercing is taken, which means now these Mustangs, especially this one, can actually do damage to a level 3 sledgehammer, and a level 2 Mustang can also chip away at 27 damage per shot at the level 2 sledgehammers. I'm not entirely confident that a fire is actually going to land, but Illuminati seems to think so. There are 6 anti-missile devices and 5 stormcallers. In theory, it should land something in the second round of barrage. Alright, here's the first round. Everything got intercepted. And here comes the second round. There's already some fire on the ground. Ooh, there it is. Big clump of fire here. And once again, there seems to just be a lack of sledgehammers. These high level ones, I think this one's what, level 3, level 9 sledgehammers. They're just not dying. Even the marksman is taking so many shots to get rid of these sledgehammers. And that's a level 4 marksman with elite marksman. Okay. I think Illuminati can potentially fix his problem by either adding more tanks or by adding more chaff. Late arriving fans with shields will be excellent, since these sledgehammers do take a long time to shoot, even with mech rage, right? That's 3 seconds per shot. Both sides did end up taking the fortress for the unit drop just for the money. And we're looking at marksman with EM against the sledgehammer with EN. And EM is quite powerful here, knowing that these units are quadruple taxed. And even more anti-missile gets added on in response to this increased pressure from Illuminati. Looking at Illuminati, he still had 1,300 resources left. So after a round of upgrades, he's still got quite a lot of money. And if I were him, I probably would want to go with the fans, shields, and just put down even more fans. Alright, well, I guess instead of fans, we're gonna go with marksman. I'm not entirely sure marksman is the way to go here. Like a level 2 marksman that does 7,000 damage up against a level 9 sledgehammer that has 54,000 damage per tank, and there are 5 of them. It's going to take the entire turn to kill that tank. Underground is causing the crawlers to die a little bit later than usual, but they will die nevertheless. And once they're dead, then all the units are exposed, and these level 9 tanks absolutely chew through here. The stone crawlers are doing a little bit of damage. There's some fire on the ground, but overall, I think the ground is pretty clear. And it's just looking at this overwhelming number of force coming down here, with no chaff to protect Illuminati, and also not enough firepower to deal with these high-level tanks. Alright, and that's game. So what did we learn here? Well, first thing first, in a game where you're in a mirror sledge off, if you will, whoever gets most levels win, right? So in this case, you see how powerful this level 9 sledgehammer is. And also in this sledgehammer versus sledgehammer or any sort of mirror matchup, the ultimate fight isn't between the actual carry units. The ultimate fight is your chaff and chaff clear. The reason that Clint is doing a lot better versus Illuminati is not because he's got level 9 tanks, but because he's got more chaff. And when I say chaff, I don't just mean these additional fans, the crawlers, the layer ramming fans, the crawler here, right? If you count the squads of units, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crawlers, so 10 chaff. You're looking at Clint's side, we're looking at 6 squads of fans, 4 squads of crawlers, but they also have 7 squads of Mustangs, which are also serving as chaff as they run forward and they tank damage from these sledgehammers. So with the additional 7 squads of chaff, Clint is at a clear advantage. Even if he doesn't have this level 9 tank, let's say he has the same level as one of these guys, level 3, he's still at an advantage. But the takeaway here is if you have chaff and if you can consistently win chaff wars in the later rounds, then that's going to allow your tanks to level, and then you're going to have an even bigger advantage. Well, I hope you enjoyed this game, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I do post every single day. If you have a replay that you just couldn't figure out, share with me on Discord. You'll find the link in the description below. And until then, I'll see you later.
Prepare your tactics, Mechabellum's calling. Deploy your fortress, the battlefield's alive with swarms.